Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and today we're going to be going over the 13 Americano vehiculars for every single budget from $1,000 all the way up to $25,000. The way these videos works, we've done a couple of them in the past, and you guys seem to love them. So the way they work is we start at $25K, and I give you one car for under $25K that's American that I think is a good option. Then we do $20K, $15, $10, $9, $8, $7, $6, $5, $4, $3, $2, and $1,000. Really quick, I say this at the start of every one of these videos. Any car under 2K to 1K, especially a sports car, since this is a enthusiast channel, are gonna be hoopties. So do not expect a great car for under that price range. I'm just giving you options that you can buy. I'm not recommending you buy them, but you can buy them for under 2K to $1,000. Also guys, this video is going live hopefully tomorrow, Monday. Today is Sunday. I'm going up to my sister's house, which she lives in New York, for the next 3 days, so Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And so I'm lining up a couple of videos, but we are not gonna have a video uploaded on Tuesday, which for you guys is going to be tomorrow. So please do not expect a video tomorrow because there's not going to be one. But there will be one on Wednesday, and there's going to be obviously this one today. I hope you guys understand. I just want to go have a good family time with my siblings. But anyway, without further ado, let's get right into the video with the American car for less than $25,000. All right, so for less than $25K, I believe that the Chevy Camaro SS 5th generation is a very, very good deal. Now, Camaro SSs have always been a little bit expensive. It's very, very hard to find cheap Camaro SSs on the market for their year at least, and this one was absolutely no different. However, they are coming down in price a little bit more than average, I would say. And it comes with a 6.2 liter V8 making 426 horsepower, and it's rear wheel drive. I think every single car on this list except for 2 are rear wheel drive, so that's gonna be fun. But either way, like I said before, I'm not a muscle car guy, but if I had to pick, if somebody came up to me and put a gun to my head and said, Mark Roden, you tell me right now, do you like Camaros, Mustangs, or Challengers better? I would first of all say you're a psychopath, but then I would say probably Camaros. I love Camaros. They just look cool to me. They come with LSs, and everything about that just clicks. However, for 20K, I think that the Ford Mustang GT S197 is a very good option. This is what I meant before about how the Camaros don't depreciate as hard as the other muscle cars, by the way, because the S197, at least the facelifted version, was made around the same time as the 5th gen SS was made, and they're significantly cheaper than the 5th gen SSs, so it's pretty weird how that works. Like, why do Mustangs depreciate so much harder than Camaros? It doesn't make any sense. Either way, this car came with a 5 liter V8, making 412 horsepower, and it's rear wheel drive. The big old 5.0. All the Mustang boys always walking around saying 5.0. I'm 5.0 Kenny, or whatever their name is. They're pretty cool cars, I'm not gonna lie. I once again would pick a Camaro over Mustangs just because I personally like them. Don't get angry about that, but just because I personally like them. But I love the S197s. Look, at least the facelift. The pre-facelift, get it out of here. Facelift, yes please. I want more. Waiter, give me the bill. Less than $15,000, I believe that the Chevy Corvette C6 is going to be a very good option. However, I do want to say it's going to be hard for you to find a C6 under 15K. You have to get very lucky, and if you do get lucky, chances are it's going to have issues. So if you don't want to go through all that hassle and you don't know what you're doing when looking for cars and stuff like that, then a C5 is another great option, and those are also under 15K. The C6, however, comes with a 6.2 liter V8, making 430 horsepower, and they are rear wheel drive. Now, remember how I said before that I don't really have a big opinion on muscle cars? I don't. I stay by that. However, I love Corvettes. There's everything about Corvette just is a great car, in my opinion. They check all the boxes for not only a sports car, but in my opinion, a muscle car too. Like, I know they're not technically muscle cars, but to me, they are. They come with the same motor that they put in muscle cars. They're faster. Like, what is there not to like about the Corvettes? Especially the C6, the thing's beautiful. Except I don't like how they painted the headlights. That looks weird. The headlight housing's like the same color as the car. But everything else, oh my goodness gracious. Slap my mother and call me spacious. I like it. Don't actually slap my mother, by the way. That'd be very disrespectful. She's a nice lady. But under $10,000 is going to the Dodge Challenger SXT. That stands for Standard X-Ray Times, which is around 5 minutes, by the way. The Dodge Challenger SXT, yes, it's a V6 muscle car. I know you guys are going to be like, yeah, good. I don't care, man. Listen, I still think it's worth the price for 10K. It comes with a 3.5 liter V6, making 250 horsepower, and it's rear wheel drive. Yes, it's a boat, so yes, 250 horsepower is not a lot for this car, and you're not going to be zooming from point A to point B. But it's kind of just a car for the guy that just wants something that's rear wheel drive, looks decent, has plenty of space, is American, people are going to look at you and be like, yeah, you're a cool dude, even though you're like crying on the inside because it's a V6. That's for you. You know, it's a good car. It really is. It's just, yes, is it not a V8 muscle car? Yeah, but not everybody has to have a V. I have a V6, 350Z, and an inline-4 Integra, okay? I don't have a V8. You don't need a V8. Should have had a V8. For less than $9,000 Roonies, the Pontiac GTO is an amazing option. The newest GTO, by the way. You're not going to find like the Judge GTO or the first gen GTO. And for under 9K, it still kind of is hard to find these, but that makes sense because they really are an amazing muscle car. Amazingly underrated as well, by the way. So it makes sense that they're just sitting right around the 9K mark because they are worth 9K in every way. They come with a 6-liter V8 making 400 horsepower, and they are rear-wheel drive. Now, in terms of this list, it's not that crazy. As a matter of fact, 4 of the last 3 cars we just talked about had more horsepower than that. But for 9K, that's crazy. You're not finding many cars for $9,000 that have 400 horsepower. Also, the GTO, in my opinion, looks incredible. Like, it's absolutely sexy. And they're 9K, dude. Like, that's a very, very cheap price, I feel like. 9K American dollars, by the way. So, probably is going to go down in value very soon. Thanks, China. But either way, it's a good car. I like it. GTO. For less than $8,000 Roonies is going to the Ford Focus ST. The ST stands for, I don't even know, man. Scandalous Turtle, I guess. It's a cool car, man. It's a hatchback. What do you expect? Now, notice I did not say American muscle cars at the beginning of this video. These are just American cars in general. And the Ford Focus ST, even though it's not an American muscle car, it's an American car. And it's an American sports car. That's pretty cool. It comes with a 2.3-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 252 horsepower. And it's front-wheel drive. Is it a little bit weird that this inline-4 hatchback that's pretty lightweight and handles very well has more horsepower than the Dodge Challenger that we just talked about? Yes. Does that matter? No. Okay, you're buying a Focus ST not for the same reason you're buying a Challenger, okay? You're not trying to go fast. You're not trying to fake it till you make it in a Focus ST. This thing, it just handles like a dream. It has good engine for tuning. It's for the tuners. That's what it is. It's for the tuners. However, for less than $7,000, I believe that the Chevy Corvette C4 is a pretty cool option. Now, a lot of people hate the C4, and I can understand why. It definitely doesn't look anywhere near as good as the C5 or the C6, or God forbid, like the C2. Whoo-wee! But it's still like, for its time period, think about this car was in the 80s and early 90s, right? There wasn't that many cool cars back then, man. And the C4 Corvette was still pretty good. Came with a 5.7-liter V8, making 230 horsepower, and it's rear-wheel drive. Yes, 230 horsepower is pretty low, especially for a Corvette. But back in the 80s, 90s, that's not that bad. And you got to remember that when you're buying an 80s, 90s car. It's not going to be as fast as a C6 Corvette because it's older, friends. Now, in terms of the looks, yes, it does look very weird. And there's really not much else I can say about that. It just doesn't look as good as the other Corvettes. But the performance does make sense for its time, I feel like. For less than $6,000, let's go talk about another Pontiac. This time, the Firebird 3rd generation. This is like that generation that everybody in all the movies, the crackheads always drive these ones for some reason. I don't know why they think that crackheads drive this generation of Firebird, but they're freaking sick. If that makes me a crackhead for liking the 3rd gen Firebird, guess what I am, pal. It comes with a 5-liter V8. I'm not really a crackhead, by the way. Please don't take that out of context. And it makes 200 horsepower and it's rear-wheel drive. Not the fastest on this list, but once again, it's a very old car. As a matter of fact, I think this is even earlier than the C4 Corvette, if I'm not mistaken. So it's obviously going to have even less horsepower. It also wasn't meant to be as fast as the Corvette because this is just a rebadged Camaro, pretty much. And so it's obviously not going to have as much horsepower as it. And once again, yes, you could definitely argue that there are better options if you're just trying to get power out of a car. Obviously, there's better options, but that's not what you're buying a old 80s Firebird for, I feel like. They're just good, cool, retro cars that you just feel like the man driving. For less than $5,000, let's hop back into the tuner world for a second to talk about the Dodge Neon SRT4. Back in the early 2000s, when every car company tried to make, all American car companies at least, tried to make like tuner cars that everybody would like, I feel like the only one that actually succeeded is the SRT4. And that's saying something, because it's a pretty good car. I actually saw one today. That's weird. I saw one at a gas station. It looked pretty cool. It comes with a 2.4-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 230 horsepower, and it's front-wheel drive. These things also sound incredible for an inline-4, let me tell you. When that car at the gas station pulled away today, it was music to my gosh darn earlobes. The thing sounded amazing. And the way the turbo spooled, ooh, boy. thing is sick nasty. Now, once again, this is not for the average person watching this video. I guarantee if you're watching this video for American sports cars, you're probably looking at muscle cars. But if you are looking for an American tuner, the SRT4 for less than 5K, amazing deal. Coming in at the $4,000 spot is going to another tuner car that was made in the early 2000s by American companies, but this one didn't do nearly as well as the Neon did. It's the Chevy Cobalt SS. I bet you boys forgot about this car. Well, I didn't, okay? Chevy likes to slap SS on any car that has like 2 horsepower more than their base model, and then they call it like a sports car, and they did it with the Cobalt too. This car came with a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 260 horsepower, and it's front-wheel drive. I want to say really quick, if I were to have to choose an early 2000s American sports car, it would absolutely be the Cobalt SS. I know the SRT4 is better and it has a better engine and it looks better to most people. It's lighter, it handles better. But I personally there's something about the Chevy Cobalt SS that looks great. Now here's the thing, the normal Cobalt, that's ugly. That thing makes me want to throw up, and I don't like throwing up. But the Cobalt SS, it just works. I don't know, I like it a lot. For less than $3,000, once again, I do not recommend buying these cars for this price. I would recommend, if you want one of these cars that I'm about to talk about, you save your money a little bit and buy a nicer model, but you can find them for under these prices if you absolutely must have to. And for $3K, I think the Ford Mustang GT SN95 is an absolute no-brainer. It blows my mind that people aren't buying these things more often. They come with a 4.6-liter V8 making 235 horsepower, and it's rear-wheel drive. That is right. You get a V8 that makes 230 horsepower in the slower models. You can get more horsepower if you spend a little bit more money to get a nicer model for less than $3,000, and it's a Mustang. And this Mustang too, the SN95s, they look good. By the way, the SN95 and the new Edge Mustang are the same. One's just a facelift. The SN95 is just a chassis code, and they both look incredible. Like I like them a lot. I like smaller smaller nimble sports cars, and I feel like that's kind of what Ford tried to do with these Mustangs. And I think it honestly worked. It still has the power of a muscle car back then, but it now has the handling of something that's more like Japanese or European. For less than $2,000, let's talk about one of the world's most forgotten sports cars ever, the Pontiac Fiero. My dad has a couple of these, and I've ridden in them before, and they're like the American MR2, except more for like drug dealers. Like I feel like the MR2 is for like hot boys, you know, like people that are like in high school that want to like try and look really cool because JDM is cool, man. Whereas the Fiero is for like El Chapo. It comes with a 2.5-liter inline-4, making a whopping 94 horsepower in its rear-wheel drive. Notice this is not the Fiero GT, so Fiero owners, please don't get mad at me. Yes, you can buy a Fiero GT, and yes, those do make a lot more horsepower than 94, but for under 2K, you're not buying a GT. You're going to have to buy a base model, and sadly, the base model only comes with 94 horsepower. It is still a blast of a car to drive, though, guys. Listen, these things are lightweight. They are mid-engined. They handle weirdly, and it's just fun. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit and you want to have a little bit of a track project car, this is a great option. Especially for 2K, you can buy like a really beat up one and just take it to the track and rip on it and not have to worry about it. It sounds like a really fun time. But finally, for only $1,000, if you have a budget of $1,000 and you want to buy an American sports car, I believe that the Chevy Camaro 4th generation, or the Catfish Camaro, is the best option for you. You are not going to find an SS under 1K, by the way, so you are going to have to get the base model. The base model, of course, comes with a V6. It is a 3.8-liter V6 that makes 200 horsepower in its rear-wheel drive. But that is still really good, guys. 200 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, questionable looks for sure, but in a huge engine bay too, so you could absolutely swap it with a faster motor if you ever wanted to, is a great deal for 1K. You're not going to find many cars that make anywhere close to 200 horsepower for 1K. You're not going to find any cars in general for close to 1K, let alone a sports car. Like, yes, it does has a V6, and it's not the actual muscle car, but if you expect to buy a V8 muscle car for under 1K and actually be able to drive it in the next year, good luck. Good luck. Let me know if you do that, because you need to go to the casino. I'm taking you with me to the casino. We're hitting it big. But ladies and gentlemen, hats forward now. And that's the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. And please don't forget that tomorrow there is not going to be a video, and I apologize for that. But Wednesday there will be, and then Thursday there will be, and Friday there will be. On top of that, Wednesday is actually going to be an Integra build video. We haven't actually done something to it, but it's, well, you'll see. I don't want to, say it outright just yet, but you'll see. It's pretty big news. I feel like you guys are going to be pretty excited to hear it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know what other ones of these that you'd like to see, these like 1K to 25K. I was thinking of doing tuners, SUVs. I could do off-road vehicles, rally vehicles, track day cars, stance cars, luxury cars. I could do whatever you guys want to see me do. Obviously, European cars is going to be coming pretty soon because we've already done JDM and now we did American cars, so Euro will be soon. But yeah, I hope you guys understand why there's no video tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.